Hello everyone, welcome back to all of you in the Smelly Army. So today we're going to be having a look at 5 really great performing fragrances, all of which you can sample over at Fragrance Samples UK, the sponsors of today's video. Before we get into that, if you've been following the saga of the fragrance Swordfish from Vlad Bully, otherwise known as Dr. Kramer's Bulovich, you might be interested to know about a couple of recent emails he sent me. Apparently he has a hobby of shooting birds in his back garden, which he's been sharing with me. Now, some of my intros are supposed to be funny and make you laugh. This one is more in the realms of the purely bizarre and unusual, but you may find it interesting. So here are a couple of recent emails about his bird shooting activity. I think in the second one, he's got an injury. He injured his hand sawing off the beak of a bird that he shot in his backyard.
Okay, so he kicks off with this. Hello, I got up at 5 AM today for a bit of shooting and a productive morning it has been. I have shot a total of 9 birds, included is 2 seagulls. One was a blackbird too and one a crow. I want to share some beaks with you. I have 3 beaks for you. Seagull, crow and blackbird. The seagull one is lovely, was a big bird so big beak. I'll wrap these up and post down to you, Danny. I have quite a collection of beaks now. Getting up earlier is the key. Cramsey. Good day from Vlad Bully. Okay, then at some point after that he injures his hand, but luckily he says, well, the injury has not impacted my shooting. 2 seagulls, 1 unknown bird and another squirrel all croaked. But here comes bad news. I cooked the seagull. Not a good meal, quite an odd tasting meat, stringy and bad aftertaste. So I put the carcass outside and now 2 cats are ravishing it without a care in the world. Good tip. Don't eat seagull, tastes rubbish. Good day from Vlad Bully.
Okay guys, yes, so welcome back. Let me know what you think about the whole Vlad Bully thing there. Now, 5 amazing, strong fragrances. As I've said before, this video is sponsored by my friends over at Fragrance Samples UK. You can sample all of these fragrances there. They have a really amazing collection of over 600 designer and niche fragrances. They have worldwide shipping. If you're in the UK or 14 other EU countries that you can see listed below, then they can give you tracked shipping where you order through the website. If you're elsewhere in the world, you can order by contacting them on email at info@fragrancesamplesuk.com, and they can ship fragrances pretty much anywhere in the world, including the United States and many other places. So let's get stuck into it. Of course, sampling fragrances definitely highly recommended. There are so many different fragrances out there. A lot of the ones in this video, you probably can't very easily walk into your department store and try them out easily. So these can be sent to your home. You can give them a good sniff and not just try them in the store, but have them for a few days, wear them in different situations and really see if they work for you. But for me, all of these are very strong. My recent video was about gentlemanly fragrances. They were great. Some of them not great in performance. These all should be. So the first one that I want to share with you is from the well-known house now of Parfums Vintage. It's the latest of the pineapple vintage versions. They have ridiculous amounts of different pineapple vintage iterations or flankers. And this one available now on Fragrance Samples UK. They're very quick to get the range from Parfums Vintage, and it's Pineapple Vintage Intense Gold. So Pineapple Vintage Intense is one of their absolute big sellers. Of course, it's very similar in smell to Creed's Aventus. It's kind of modelled on that. Similar or pretty much the same notes: bergamot, pineapple, birchwood, patchouli, vanilla. Pineapple Vintage Intense was a really good performing, very fruity, vibrant Aventus take with a lot of pineapple, more so I think than the original Aventus. This version, according to the perfumer Damien Stammers, has increased the actual concentration of perfume oil and the amount of musks in it, which should give an even more increased longevity compared to the original, where some people still said they didn't feel it was lasting as long as they hoped. That olfactory fatigue maybe kicked in. This one, well, I always thought it performed really well. Anyway, Intense. This one is indeed Intense Gold, taken to the next level. It's beast mode, I would say. Juicy, fresh, in your face. You are going to reek of the pineapple vintageness. As soon as you even take the lid off, it really is an utter beast. I can't pretend to you that I'm mega excited about every new pineapple vintage flanker, because for me, there are so many I can't keep up. But I have to admit, this one, when I've tried it, is an absolute beast. and it's a very high quality version of the Aventus DNA, so well worth checking that one out. Moving on then, let's go for something completely different. So yeah, this one actually I was able to discover thank you to Fragrance Samples UK. I've actually bought a bottle which I don't have with me, and this one is Beach Hut Man by AMOUAGE. Absolutely brilliant fragrance, a very green, bright fragrance. The name Beach Hut Man doesn't really describe how it smells. It's not really a beachy smell. To me, it's an aromatic fougere, very masculine, woody, green, verdant kind of fragrance. The notes actually on this one are mint orange blossom, galbanum, vetiver, moss, ivy, myrrh, patchouli, and woody notes. It was Elise Benat, the perfumer, for this one, and a 2017 release. Apart from the really, really nice smell, which is kind of not really an old school smell, but it's like a very modern niche smelling fougere, if that makes any kind of sense. But apart from the exquisite smell, it is insanely long lasting and very, very strong in the air. So handle with care. If you know, only those with brave hearts will wear this in heavy doses on their skin. But don't overspray this one, but well worth sampling. See if you agree with me. It's an exquisite smell and it really, really performs exceedingly well, as of course do many, many AMOUAGEs. And over at Fragrance Samples UK, they do have some of the other really famous ones, the Interlude Man and that kind of stuff, which also perform really well. Moving on then, it's one that I've mentioned a bit before on the channel, and we've got Montale's Intense Cafe. I have a little 20ml travel spray here, and the main bottle looks more like that. Wonderful, one of the best coffee and rose combinations. Or is that even a thing normally? It is the definitive fragrance that mixes a smell of coffee and rose, I guess hence the name Intense Cafe, with also, what are the other notes? Well, there's certainly quite a bit of vanilla. So a nice gourmand fragrance really, very, very powerful. It's sweet, but it's got this balance with the rose. It kind of smells a bit synthetic. Something about it doesn't make you think, wow, there's loads of natural ingredients, but perhaps that's why they've achieved such a beast mode kind of performance on this fragrance, because it really lasts well, incredibly well. Perfect for your autumn, winter kind of thing, very unisex, and I would probably put this in the beast mode category. A must try fragrance, even if you don't end up opting for a full bottle. 10ml of this that you could get from the Fragrance Samples UK would probably last you ages because it's so strong. So that was the next one. Moving on then, we've got two left, and I think I'm going to go with Portrait of a Lady next. So Portrait of a Lady from FREDERIC MALLE. Total stunning fragrance. The name suggests maybe that it's aimed at ladies or women. It's totally unisex. Men, you should definitely investigate this, particularly if you like fragrances that will get you noticed. The notes on this one, let's remind me. Dominic Ropion by The Way is the perfumer, and we have rose, patchouli, incense, sandalwood, amber, musk and benzoin are some of the notes in this one. A brilliant combination again of rose with patchouli. They're the main two that I get out of this. Dark, maybe resinous notes in there as well. Very rich, very heavy, a kind of dark rose with a dark and heavy, grown-up, sophisticated smelling patchouli note. Bit of spiciness, warming, great for the cold weather, very classy, and again, I would probably say beast mode in performance. Portrait of a Lady, FREDERIC MALLE, total stunner. Last but not least then, this one that Greg gave me a sample of when I actually met up with him the other day, searching for a house near where he lives, still trying to find the right place for Mr. Smelly to set up his mansions. And this was a total new one to me. I had never actually heard of this fragrance. It is Nishane's Sultan Vetiver. Notes in this one include Java vetiver, anise, pink pepper, bergamot, bourbon vetiver, Haitian vetiver, lots of different vetiver, get it? Neroli, tonka bean, amber, leather, and Brazilian vetiver. So I don't know the difference between all the different types of vetiver. If you like the smell of vetiver, you'll probably love this fragrance, but it's about a bit more than that. There is a hint. Some people have compared it to Guerlain's classic fragrance, their version of vetiver. There is a similarity. It does have a really beautiful vetiver undertone, but there's also spiciness in there, a little bit of sweetness, and some people are also mentioning a boozy kind of undertone to this one. Incredibly rich, incredibly powerful, and Greg, indeed, when he first gave this one to me, said it is an absolute beast, and he really knows his stuff. He's a stickler on fragrances. He often says X or Y fragrance actually doesn't perform that well on me, but this one he has found is an absolute long-lasting beast mode fragrance. From my sampling so far, it certainly seems exceedingly strong. So NISHANE VETIVER, new one, glad to put that out there on the radar of the smelly army. Give it a try. I think it's a really, really interesting, powerful, and a little bit scary fragrance. So only if you love strong performance and daring scents should you try this one, but I think many of you watching probably do. Thanks ever so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Remember, whatever you're doing in life, let's project. Bye bye. Smelly.